Good Lord, we're back with another brand new Let's Not Do This podcast. The Big O, Leon Oliver, sitting alongside two of the three unwise men. Sitting across from me right now with a haircut that still looks pretty fresh. One Scotty Too Hottie. How are you, sir?
Good. Better than my fantasy team. Poor Nick Chubb.
That's right off the bat right there.
I told you.
Ryan, go ahead and get that card ready for a yellow.
I was going to say, don't go straight to red. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to shut you down like that.
I told you I was cursed in this league.
Yeah, that was rough. And the keeper of the card, one Ryan Dickerson. How are you, sir?
Doing good, man. Still doing well on my bets. You know,
Yeah.
another good week.
Well, broken clock is right twice a day. So, eventually this luck will run out.
Hey, man.
Yeah, you went 2-1 in college and NFL.
Yep. Yeah. I think I'm like nice 14-6 for the season.
I'm not. I did do it. I went 2-1 in college, actually. Just surprising.
And I continue to lose money on podcast bets, but win money on bets I don't give out on the podcast. And also, what did I send you guys earlier? I'm 24-8. I think it was just straight up picking NFL games. I mean, albeit any monkey can pick who's going to win or lose without the spread, but still.
Yeah, I'm 22-10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. My wife and I have a contest where we were supposed to pick the games against each other, and at the end of the year, someone has to buy the other one dinner. Week 1, she beat me. Week 2, I forgot to do that. And so, yeah. So there
Lower dinner.
I'm sabotaging the contest as we speak. It's like that episode of Seinfeld with the contest. Yeah. No one knows what I'm talking about?
Wasn't a big Seinfeld guy.
There was an episode of Seinfeld, The Contest is the episode, and it's notorious because they were trying to see who could go the longest without jerking off. And Elaine they thought she was going to be the winner, but she ran into John F. Kennedy Jr. at her health class, like a spin class or something like that, and that apparently was what did her in.
So did she get caught doing it?
Oh well, it was on the honor system. Which we could never do on this podcast because our suspended friend would be the first one to lie about it.
Well, it's the whole honor thing too.
Yeah, well, honor. It's like Rico Bosco. He's a man of honor.
You can't even spell honor.
The suspension for our suspended friend continues. Chris will send that bail money to Guatemala and get you back in the country real soon. In the meantime, I hope you and Hector are enjoying your cell down there. I'm going to go ahead and get that first one out of the way.
Might be racist.
Yeah.
Are Guatemalans named Hector? I don't think that's a Guatemalan name.
I don't. That might be racist.
Probably racist too, yeah.
I don't know that I know what a Guatemalan name is.
I don't think I know either.
I think it's all like, it's Hispanic country, right?
Yeah, it's just south of Mexico.
So, yeah, I mean, it's probably Hector's down there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't know.
If you're from Guatemala, give us a ring. We might have you on for a episode. Also, bring some food because we're very hungry. All right. So, speaking of hungry, my Hungry Dog of the Week podcast, well, I don't get those picks on the air, but the Hungry Dog has been dying. And we also are losing NFL players left and right, too. Monday Night Football last night, there was two atrocious games, the Saints and the Panthers. And I think the Steelers and Browns still may be fumbling the football as we speak. We'll start with Carolina and New Orleans. This was a snooze fest of all snooze fest until like the last minute and a half when the Saints decided that, we're just going to play a prevent defense and let Carolina march down the field unevaded. You guys watch much of this game?
Not at all. I watched maybe the first quarter and a half.
I probably watched maybe the last quarter of it, yeah. Not much of it. I forgot it was on, honestly, until, I don't know. I was out playing in my corner league last night, and they had the game on the TV, and I was like, what game is that? Is that a repeat on NFL Network or something? And I said, the Saints didn't play yesterday, and the guy was like, no, they're playing 2 this week. I was like, 2 Monday night games. I got it. But, yeah, it was a terrible game.
Yeah, the Panthers are a tough watch right now.
It is rough. I mean, all teams have injuries, but their offensive line's patchwork. You can tell they spent no money on wide receivers. They have no one that can make a play and get open and get separation. That's just not a fun team to watch.
Yeah, they traded their only guy to get their quarterback, yeah.
Yeah. And when you go back and you look at what they've done, some of the checks that the Panthers have written over the years are now kind of come and do. Some of the decisions that they've made at quarterback and different other skill positions. When you look back, they've essentially traded Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore to essentially pick up Bryce Young.
Yeah.
And surround him with absolutely nothing and just kind of pray to God that everything works. And it's going to be a lengthy rebuild in Charlotte there.
Yeah, you can't judge him yet, but he has not looked very good yet, Bryce Young. Hopefully he can turn it around.
Speaking of not looking good, the Steelers and the Browns last night, Deshaun Watson continues to just look shambolic. And that game was a bad game, but it was a entertaining game. There was enough bizarre stuff and fumbles and penalties. And I mean, these two teams don't like each other, so there was hard hitting and everything, but it wasn't good, but it was entertaining at least. And if you're going to not be good, at least be entertaining. Pittsburgh coming away with the win. What are they like? They haven't lost on Monday Night Football since like 92. I think that's how the stat was.
Okay.
Is that true?
Yeah, I think it was like they haven't lost on Monday Night Football at home, I think, since 92. Sorry. Yeah, and TJ Watt got his first ever touchdown, and which I found hard to believe, but that was his first touchdown in the league. That fumble he ran back, and of course thoughts and prayers with Nick Chubb, his knee, somewhere on the Acrisure Stadium turf right now because it was,
Yeah, that's the same knee he had his whole everything blown out, his MCL, ACL, and I don't know what the other ligament was that he blew out Georgia.
PCL?
PCL,
I was going to say TCL. That's a TV company.
That's a really shitty TV.
All the CLs are gone.
Yeah, it was.
Well, it's bad when the announcers are like, yeah, we're not going to show it to you. Because usually they have that shit on a loop, just playing over and over and over again. Maybe they finally learned their lesson. We don't want to see that shit. Stop.
Well, I'm glad you bring it up. So Barstool has a podcast called Mostly Sports, Brandon Walker and Mark Titus. And they were talking about that this morning. And Titus brought up the point, hey, let me make that decision. Show it to me once. You don't know what I don't want to see. And I get it. Maybe there's kids in the room and stuff, but let me as the viewer decide what I don't want to see. If you say, hey, this is pretty gruesome, then, someone like Chris, who's not here, he's pretty squeamish. He can leave the room, or he can close his eyes, whatever. But we're going to see it anyway. Everything's on the internet. There's the other angle was out there, immediately.
I mean, I guess maybe show it once. I thought they had shown it at least once. But yeah, I mean, I guess you can show it once, but yeah, other than that, that's just too much.
I have no need
to
see any type of ACL injuries. Just they make me squeamish because I've torn mine, and it's well, I don't need to see it.
Yeah, I made the mistake of looking up on Twitter or X, searching for Nick Chubb to see I knew it was bad, and you could hear him screaming, so you pretty much assumed that he's probably done. But I was just looking to, I don't know, maybe it was some miracle that it wasn't as bad as it looked, but. Yeah, and of course you just see pictures of the still shot of his knee.
So I'm sorry, go on.
No, they said somebody was on his back when he was running, trying to tackle him, and I guess with between his weight and the weight of the guy on his back, when the other guy kind of undercut him, I mean, his leg couldn't get off the turf, he couldn't. Sometimes your leg gets hit, you can kind of. Your leg kind of automatically leaves the ground just because it's trying to save itself, where I think his was just planted and the guy just full force went through it.
So I didn't actually see it because I didn't want to watch it, but that play. But is that something that maybe could have been prevented if it was grass instead of turf?
It didn't look no, that was just contact with the knee.
I just think it was so much weight, so much force coming down on the knee because of the weight of the other guy. He couldn't let his leg couldn't get off the ground. Just kind of had to take everything, all the impact. So
Pittsburgh has grass, don't they?
I don't know. I have no clue.
I believe I saw grass stains on jerseys yesterday.
Maybe.
Yeah, they probably do. Pittsburgh's one of those towns I don't think they would ever get rid of grass.
Well, remember, Hinesfield back in the day had Hinesfield.
The turf.
Three Rivers had turf back in the day, but
that's true.
Well, that's going to become a thing. It's already kind of starting to become a thing. The players are at some point are probably going to be I'm not playing on turf anymore. That day is coming.
Chris Long was talking on his podcast about he was blowing snot rockets during his career of those little pellets out of your nose. He's that just cannot be good for you.
Yeah.
When you knock on wood, nothing ever happens to him. But when you go back, you look back 20 years from now, it's that was probably not good to have ingested into your body.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. It was a gruesome injury. I don't need to see it super slow-mo or whatever. Show it once full speed and, kind of get it over with. Ryan, you brought up a good point. You mentioned you had the ACL injury and it's kind of make you a little squeamish. Obviously, you've never been shot. But Well, not that I know of.
No gun pellets, not Tupac or somebody walking around here with getting shot 8 times in their life.
I do find it interesting that they made the editorial decision to not show us the injury, but how many times have we all seen the Zapruder film? Back and to the left. We can see Kennedy get blasted in the head when there may not have been a second shooter, but we can't see Nick Chubb's knee disintegrate.
Yeah, I mean, I think after the whole... Well, it may have been a little bit after that, but after the whole Dosman knee thing, when they showed that, I mean, I'm old enough to remember that. They showed that like 80 different times on the telecast, and it was just kind of like, okay, we saw his leg just get snapped in half by Lawrence Taylor. And it's, we get it. So I can see they can be sometimes a little over the top with it, but I agree, like, if you want to show it a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, especially for somebody that may have missed the play, or show it. But then after that, just for the sake of the rest of the audience that don't want to see it, and I think even for Nick Chubb, like, just have some privacy for his own injury. Don't be like showing it 1,000 million times, unless you want to go online and find it. I mean, that's cool and all, but
yeah. Now, what's interesting now, obviously Nick Chubb is out. He's done for the year. Ford came in and ran well yesterday for Cleveland. Kareem Hunt's still sitting out there. Jonathan Taylor is still sitting out there if they can swing a trade with Indianapolis. What do you think Cleveland does?
I would go back and get Kareem Hunt.
Yeah,
should know the offense.
I saw that they worked him out already, so that might be where they go.
I think Mary Catherine Cabot, who does like ESPN Cleveland, I think she had posted like they had been in contact with him, but they had also been in contact with the Rams about trying to swing a trade for Cam Akers, who's been on the trading block for essentially the last 24 months.
What's happened to him?
I don't know. He tweeted, I mean, you don't know what's actually happened, but he tweeted something to the effect like, I don't know what's going on either. Like, I was ready to play. There's like 4 teams. I can't remember who the 4 teams were. The Browns were one of them that are showing interest. But then they said the Rams might just end up releasing him.
Which I can't imagine that. I mean, you got to get something back, especially if you're the Rams where, you don't really have a lot of pick capital anyway. And
there's so many teams that have injured backs now. The Giants.
Yeah.
The Detroit has an issue now with David Montgomery. The Browns. I mean, it's like 3 or 4 teams that could use, if not a starter, running back depth, to say the least. I mean.
Well, you got Cam Akers in our league, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're probably hoping he goes to the Browns. That'd be like that offensive line. That'd be a great fit.
I would love that.
Yeah.
So according to Jordan Schultz, the teams that have checked in on the Rams with a potential Cam Akers trade are the Bucks, the Ravens, the Raiders, and the Browns for Cam Akers services.
Makes sense.
Also, Ryan, Scotty and I were talking about this off air before you showed up this afternoon, but the Monday Night Football curse continues now. 2 weeks in a row, we've seen a star go down. Aaron Rodgers with the Achilles, and now Nick Chubb with the everything knee. If you're playing the Monday Night Football, you're a star player. You might want to go ahead and encase yourself in bubble wrap for this week coming up.
Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith.
Philadelphia plays on Monday?
Yeah, it's 2 games. It's Eagles-Bucks. And then it's no really stars on the Bucs. So, Mike Evans, I guess, could be on that watch list.
And don't forget about Baker Mayfield. It might feel dangerous.
Come on now. And you got Rams Bengals, which is just it's a ton of people that can just end their careers on Monday between Stafford and
I got Burrow. T. Higgins and Rashad White. So
there you go. And
put them on notice that maybe they should sit this one out.
Yeah. Burrow's already nicked up, which gets to my next point here. Is it time to push the panic button in Cincinnati? They're 0-2. Now, albeit they've started slow the last couple of years, and Joe Burrow's already dealing with a little bit of an injury. There's some people online that are saying, hey, let's go ahead and put him on IR, let him sit out, let him get completely healthy. I think that's asinine. The NFL season is 17 games long. You're already 0-2. You drop a couple more games, your season's done for. Now, albeit you gave that guy historic money and he's your franchise, you want to have him for 10 years from now, but you need to win now. I mean, you never know how soon your window is going to close.
Yeah, I mean, by panic, you mean for this year?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously going forward, I mean, there's no reason to panic. But, for this year, they probably should have rested him a game or 2 to start the season. Now, like you said, it's kind of too late. Like, you played him, he re-aggravated his injury. I mean, you kind of, if he's healthy enough to play at this point, you're 0-2, you kind of got to play him at this point. As far as panicking for this year, I mean, I wouldn't say yet, but if they lose Monday night, then I mean, Because like if he's still not healthy, like you don't know if he's gonna be able to come back and be healthy this year or not.
Yeah, last year they went 0-2 and they still got to the AFC Championship game. Albeit this year, I think the 0-2 is a little bit worse because there were 2 division games. Like you said, Scotty, but definitely, I mean, if they lose on Monday night to the Rams, not saying the Rams are a bad team, they're actually a better team than I think most people thought.
Scrappy.
Yeah. If they lose on Monday night, I think it's over, especially if the Ravens, they have the Colts, so that'll probably make them 3-0. Steelers have the Raiders, so I mean, you never know about that one. And the Browns have a winnable. Well, they have the Titans at home, so those 2 games aren't as winnable as the Ravens, but they have a good chance of being 3 games behind the leader of the division. So at that point, panic buttons being pushed hard in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think 0-2. The difference between 0-2 and 0-3 is pretty huge. Like 0-2, 2 weeks, whatever. Everybody loses. Not everybody, but just about everybody's going to lose 2 games in a row at some point. But you hit that 0-3 mark, and yeah, time to start panicking there.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, that's serious cause for concern there. And that offense just hasn't looked good. They just, and albeit alive, it's probably Burrow with the injury, but they just haven't looked in sync. I mean, when you look at the weapons that they have there, I mean, that offense should be putting up tons of points, should be one of the best in the league. And I wouldn't say it's time to push that button, but it's time to start locating where that button is, to know where it's at. It's like when you get on a plane and they're like, here are the emergency exits over here. You want to make sure you know where those are. Yeah, if you're Cincinnati, maybe it's time to start seeing where things are yet. All right, so we're going to go into the picks a little bit later on for college and NFL. Couple thoughts on college football. Actually, before we get to that, a couple things from the NFL. Ryan, you mentioned the Rams. I mentioned they were a little feisty. You guys think Sean McVay was looking at the spread in the San Francisco game? He kicks a meaningless field goal, and the spread goes from what was it? It was a 10-point game. They ended up losing by 7.
Yeah.
And I think most of America was on San Francisco so. Minus 7.5. Yeah.
Sure.
What else could it be?
Had to be. I mean, obviously those are rivals there. San Francisco has owned them, especially in LA. They come and take over their stadium. I think that was him saying, hey, you know what? We might have lost the battle, but you know what? We're going to take a little bit of your money here for 49er fans.
Yeah, because same situation last week. I was sweating out the Jaguars minus, I forget the spread, but I think it was the same, 7.5, or it might have been it was 6.5. And so they're down 10. They need 2 scores. They went for it twice on 4th down instead of kicking the field goal. I'm like losing my shit. But they're like going for the touchdown. And luckily for me, they didn't get it. But yeah, so I mean, it had to be the spread. Like what else?
Well, last night with the Saints Panthers game, and the Saints kind of let in that meaningless touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, they were favored by 3, so everything got pushed.
I had the
because at least with Caesars, they were a 3-point favorite in that game. So
yeah, I think it was 3 in most places.
Yeah, I think it was 3 in most. As Scotty said, I was going to live bet the under with like 2 minutes and something left. It was plus whatever on that, and I was going to empty out my account and just put the whole damn thing on it because Carolina hasn't done anything. This is sure money. I stopped myself at the last minute. I couldn't have been happier.
That line was suspicious.
Yeah,
that's the only bet I hit last night. The Cleveland game fucked me. Yeah. Well, I did not have a good week in betting. Yeah.
Still bitter.
even though I went even on our podcast picks, the rest of them not so much.
Who's more bitter, Scotty about his bets or Takeo Spikes about his seat at Highmark Stadium? Did you guys see this?
Yeah, he didn't.
Well played, sir. I wish I had the rim shot closely accessible to me. So for those who don't know, I guess the Bills were honoring like some former players and stuff like that, some legends, and they had Takeo Spikes there, of course, one of the best linebackers in that franchise's history. Had him on the field, some legend ceremony for the game, and pumping up the crowd and all that stuff. And yeah, when that happens, when you have a guy come back home, you put him in a suite, you take care of him. He looked like he was in a conference room and sitting in like a chair you would have in like an assembly in like 3rd grade or something, and was like turned around, and there was like an overhang from the bleachers in this view. It was like such a fuck you to like one of your franchise's like best defenders ever.
Hey man, I guess it didn't like much as they, you think they would. I guess we'll put you in our whatever Ring of Fame or wherever they did for him, honor him, but maybe they were just kind of like, yeah, you still get shitty seats. We don't care what you did for us.
Yeah, I feel like they hired Dan Snyder as like an advisor. He was probably watching it and he's like, man, this guy's nailed that shit. Good job.
You know, things are going very Washington in Buffalo right now. The quarterback's turning over the ball a lot. You're disrespecting former players. And the owner has been accused of racism within the last week. So things are looking very Washington right now. But they will actually get their stadium built, unlike Washington. So they got that going for them.
No, we'll get it built now. It might take 10 years, but we'll get it.
Well, hopefully someone will find a place to actually take you. Maybe there's a waste dump somewhere in Northern Virginia, landfill or something you can get. But yeah, no, I just found that bizarre. And you see this sometimes, especially in college, when there's a change of coaching staff, and sometimes people are like, oh, he didn't reach out to the former players. We couldn't get sideline passes. We couldn't do this. You know, the Steelers always make a big deal about like that Pittsburgh family and like coming back, and they always have a bunch of old guys around and stuff. And it says something about the organization, and like it just shocked me for Buffalo to treat someone like that. And he left. He didn't even stay the whole game. Oh, right. That's the funny part. He was so disrespected by his seats that he left.
I mean, I don't blame him, man. He probably was like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah. Like, you could put me here?
Some poor intern probably screwed that up or something.
Oh, without a doubt. Some like, what's a shitty college that's up there? It was Canisius, I think it is, the Golden Griffins.
Yeah, they're up there.
Yeah, University of Buffalo. You know, those kids got like a 3 SAT score. You write your name on there, you're probably getting in that school. I'm just saying.
What? Since you're the master of nicknames, what's Canisius's nickname?
The Golden Griffins.
Oh,
I just said that.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I was zoning out there.
We call it a senior moment. Ryan's having along with Lee Corso and our president. It's okay though.
No. I actually I don't want to like hijack the podcast, but did y'all see the story about the Patriots fan that got killed on Sunday night?
I'm sorry, what?
No.
This is from coming on ESPN. It just hit my timeline at 8:05, so like a few minutes ago. A person attending Sunday night's Miami Dolphins versus New England Patriots game at Gillette Stadium said a man died after what officials called an incident where there were punches thrown at a person's head 2 times. Basically, eyewitness said the guy had been the Patriots fan had confronted a Dolphins fan. They had been arguing during most of the game, and then all of a sudden they got in a fight. The guy hit him in the head and hit him in the head. The Dolphins fan hit the Patriots fan twice in the head, and he fell and he hit his head on the concrete and like died.
Damn.
Like didn't move. Like,
weren't we just talking last week about how Dolphins fans don't fight?
Yeah, no, we were. My memory of Dolphin fans
must have heard of us.
Yeah, he must have tuned in.
Was that time Dolphin fan got stabbed and pissed on by a Raider fan in the playoffs? But now they're killing people.
Yeah, they ain't fucking around now.
I thought you were gonna say Bill Belichick like hit him with a challenge flag. Did you see that shit?
Yeah,
he looks like such a kid. God, he makes me so mad. I think this might be his last year.
He's definitely getting a little feisty in his old age.
Cantankerous.
Nice SAT word there. You know what? You got a 6 on yours, unlike the Buffalo students. That's terribly sad, though. My thoughts and prayers to that guy's family. I never understood people that fight at NFL games. Did I ever tell you the story that my wife, I had to pull her off of a fight at an NFL game?
Wait.
Really?
What?
Yeah. So
what do you mean pull her off of a fight? Like she was beating some girl's ass?
She was swinging.
So this was 2010. It was Green Bay and Washington, back when I would actually show my face at FedEx Field. And as that game was getting ready to go to overtime, a Packer fan and a Redskins fan got into a fight. We had seats in the lower part of the end zone, pretty good seats. We weren't sitting, with Christian people up top.
That might be racist.
Oh, what? Cheap poor people are racist? Okay.
You did it.
But yeah, so we were sitting down there, and then like some argument ensued, and these guys, we were probably 4 or 5 rows from the field, and these guys fought, and they rolled down a couple rows, and they landed next to my wife. And then she's screaming at them, "No, stop, you're going to hurt each other." And she's trying to pull them off of each other. So I'm trying to pull her off of them, because if one of them makes contact with my wife, I'm going to go John Bones Jones on them.
Uh-oh.
I will defend my lady's honor.
Bones. I
was thinking more like Derek Lewis. But.
Right? Yeah.
Well, my balls were in fact sweaty. It was hot.
Yeah.
But no, so I'm trying to like get her off of them, and then people are coming in and like, "Oh, you guys in this?" I'm like, "No, no, no!" Like she's trying to help. You know, my wife is a very kind-hearted person. She's in that field, and you know, so I'm trying to get her to stop trying to be a good Samaritan before she catches an elbow. And then I'm going to jail for killing one of those guys, like the Dolphin fan. And yeah, so we get back to the hotel, and she's got green and gold like Packer paint, like all down her shirt and her leg and stuff like that. Yeah, it was. It was something.
The people were painted that were fighting?
The Packer fan was painted. He had green and gold, like face paint and stuff.
Packer fan is different.
Yeah, well,
Buffalo fan is different, but Packer fan is different too. They may not be as much of they don't do crazy shit like jump off of vans into folding tables and get ketchup and mustard sprayed all over them. But
what kind of crazy person? I can't imagine being the person that will sit there and let somebody paint you to go to a football game and then flip to that mode where you want to fight somebody.
Right.
Yeah, that's some bipolarness right there.
And I think painting yourself, going to a visitor stadium, you're just asking to catch some shit.
Yeah.
Like you're just bullseye, put a bullseye on your back. Like, yeah, this is the guy we're gonna fuck with today. He's wearing green and gold in our stadium.
Well, look, if you're painting yourself and you're past college age, you know, remember Jen Sturger when she was at Florida State, and remember like the Cowgirls and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, they were hot. You can do that if you're a hot chick. You can do it if you're those two guys from Florida State that always paint themselves garnet and gold, because that's a thing. But if you're just like a shirtless fraternity guy, okay, you're in college and you're drunk. But once you like leave college, you can't put face paint on. Maybe if you're like a woman and you want to put like a little Dallas star on your cheek or something like that. But otherwise, it's for little kids and drunk college people. And I never understood paying all this money for an NFL ticket and then fighting at the game. Ryan, your people, the Cowboy fans, bad look for them over the weekend. I saw all them. Someone said, "Look at all the pores" when they opened the gates to the Cowboy Stadium, and everyone's running in for the standing room only tickets.
Yep.
Someone said, "Look at all the pores." They were just sprinting in, and then they're fighting Jet fan. Yeah, there was a Cowboy fan got his face crushed in that fight too. His face looked like a tomato can.
Yeah, Jet fan. I mean, that's a fan base I wouldn't fuck with either. Is Jet fan. Like it's like Jets, Eagles, Raiders,
49ers.
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe not 49ers, but
Raiders for sure.
Raiders fans, yeah, that's probably one in California. But yeah, those four fan bases don't eat me. But probably even Giants can throw them in there too. The New Yorkers,
yeah,
they're passionate about their team too. But yeah, I wouldn't fuck with Jets fan.
Who do you think you could fuck with the most? Would it be like Seahawks fan? I feel like they wouldn't do anything. They would just like protest maybe.
I was gonna say Miami until
recently.
Yeah,
got a body on there, can't
well,
what do y'all got to be mad about, Miami? I mean, yeah, your city's gonna be underwater in like 100 years, but other than that, what do you got to be mad about? It's beautiful weather all year.
Well, the easy pick right now would be the Chargers because they don't really have any fans. That's too easy. Yeah.
The AI bots.
Well, that's what they should have did. They should have got the AI bots to come. That's what we need to do. We need to get AI bot security. That's our invention right here. We're going to trademark this. This is patent pending, people. AI bot security for NFL games. And if people want to duke it out, then they got to fight the robot too.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like one of the things are going to go rogue. Just like
Right.
Yeah.
Going crazy.
The thing turns its whole body into a taser. It just lays on you and just tases you.
Exactly.
Can't wait to get that lawsuit. Scotty, you can deal with that.
Yeah, good luck trying to program that thing to see what's a threat and what's not.
Well, our angel investor will be able to figure it out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we had those fisticuffs going. Ryan, you mentioned Bills fan and how crazy they are. Did you see the Bills fan that apparently he was drugged up on LSD and coke and some more substances? He was tailgating before the Bills game. Apparently ran off, hopped the fence. He ended up in the porta potty too. So he had shit like all over him. Ran off, hopped the fence, and ended up in a 30-foot hole at the construction site of the new stadium that they're building.
It's rough living in the the Rust Belt.
Yeah, it is the Rust Belt.
Yeah, it's rough, man. Cocaine, LSD. Yeah. I'm sure it's prevalent in Buffalo.
So they arrested this guy?
Yeah. Now,
if I'm the cop, I'm not arresting him. First of all, he's covered in shit. And I feel like he just punished himself already by jumping in a pit. Just let him stay down there for a day or two.
That's like old school justice. Put him in the hole.
Yeah. Instant karma. That's your punishment.
You bring up a good point. Someone's got to put him in the case. When the cop makes an arrest, if you ever watch like Cops or On Patrol or anything like that, they're always like, "Oh, you got a cage? Oh, Scotty, you got a cage?" So put you in the back, and not every cop car has a cage.
Right.
Nah, I ain't got no cage, man. I ain't got.
Yeah.
I parked over there.
Yep. As soon as I see that, I'm like running to my car, taking that cage out. I'm like, sorry, man.
Yeah, no, I got a dog in here. Oh, you're not a K9 unit. Oh no, I picked up the K9's dog. There's no way you
Yeah.
bring the shit guy in my cage.
Or I'm listening for some other call. I'm like, on it.
What? Someone stole a Twinkie at Walmart.
Right,
I gotta go.
exactly.
I gotta go.
Exactly. I get that too. I guess I'd try to find the nearest hose at hose, not ladies of the night, but
Yeah, I don't think he's getting any of-
HOSE.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting any of them.
Yeah, and then
It is Buffalo.
and hose him down.
Yeah. Maybe you get the same hose that Pinto Ron. That's the guy that covers himself in ketchup and mustard.
Right.
Pinto Ron.
Is that his name? Pinto Ron?
Pinto Ron.
Okay.
Pinto Ron's got to get hosed off somewhere. Maybe you can line them up side by side. Maybe that's a new Bills tradition. Cover yourself in human excrement next to Pinto Ron, who gets the ketchup and mustard.
Sure.
It's a new.
I don't know what Pinto Ron is. So
You don't know what Pinto Ron is?
nope.
Google that on your device there. He is an old guy.
Are you making me look up porn?
Yes, and also you mentioned X and Chubb earlier, and this is a callback.
Okay.
You walked all over. I had a good X videos and Chubb joke lined up there, but we're going to have to go ahead and let that one go.
Well, that was a good one from Scotty's little thing you sent saying quarterback with no Chubb or something. You said something just a while ago. It's like the rankings of the quarterbacks, or they put them in tiers or whatever.
Oh yeah. The part of my take.
Yeah, part of my take.
Yeah.
Rank the quarterbacks in tears.
Yeah, and I don't know what you said. It was something with Deshaun Watson. What did it say? I'm pulling up right now. It says no longer has a Chubb, and it has like Deshaun Watson by it.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, it's like the green.
Okay, I see it now.
Yeah, that's the funniest one to me.
I always like to see the Kirk Cousins tier because
Oh,
they
okay.
always nail it. But no, if you see the very bottom, missing Jets,
Yeah, that's good.
Aaron
too.
Rodgers,
Aaron
and
Rodgers.
well, we'll get to that later. But
Yeah. By the way, is the show like Samson, like in the Bible? He got his haircut and lost all his strength. Deshaun not trying to get jerked off by a massage therapist. Did that like take all his football away?
Must have.
maybe.
Because he sucks.
Yeah, that fumble at the end, like, I don't know, he kind of was playing like Justin Fields a little bit, like sitting back there, and you would think somebody with as many years under his belt, like he sits back there and then he looks like he doesn't know where to go, and then he just runs into somebody. I don't know.
It was like
I
Brian.
thought he was finally finding it back, like at the end of last year, and I guess I don't know. We'll see how that works out.
Not so much. He looked like Ryan playing Madden. He just looked lost out there.
Yeah, that's probably true. I'm not a good Madden player. Not a good video game player at all with anything.
Ryan's good at the old electronic football.
Yeah, that's my speed
That's
right
a
there.
jam right there.
I bought Madden the day it came out. I haven't played it yet.
We're getting old.
Just giving them my money for nothing.
Yeah. Scott, I'll let you continue to look up Pinto Ron.
No, I
here.
did. So he just puts like ketchup and mustard all over him.
Yeah, he holds up his bun and they spray ketchup and mustard on him. It's been
Okay.
he always has like a white T-shirt on too,
Yeah,
which
I
I don't
see
know
it
how
now.
many medium white T-shirts this guy has, but
He looks like a descendant of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre dude. I think it's the same family.
well, the Bills did threaten to move to Austin at one point, so that's not happening now. But
Oh,
yeah. All right. Well, moving over to college. What was it? Week 2? No, week 3. Week 3. All right, everything mixes up. Could we have week 0?
Just add
and then-
one
yeah.
to NFL and then
Week 3. There were all these games across the country were stinkers. Oklahoma State lost to South Alabama. That's not as bad as what people think. That's a good South Alabama team. Kansas State lost to Missouri. Was it?
Did they
Yeah, then that
Yeah.
last second field goal.
Last second field goal in Florida.
61-yarder, yeah.
Florida upset Tennessee, and there was like a skirmish at the end of the game and some suspensions.
There was a skirmish. It wasn't almost one. It was one.
yeah,
That's one of the only bets I
Dudes
hit this
throwing
weekend.
punches.
but
Was the Florida plus whatever they were.
But the big story was Colorado State. I saw the TV numbers on this. Last time they played 2019, it was like 1.9 million people watched the game. This time, at a game that ended at 2:30 a.m. Eastern time, they had an audience of over 9 million watch Colorado State. And that game goes to OT. Buffs get the win. Of course, the big takeaway is Travis Hunter. The injury to him, he's out, 3 to 4 weeks with a lacerated, was it liver?
I haven't heard anything about his.
I just knew it was 3 weeks.
I know it's a laceration. I can't remember if it was kidney or liver. I think his lacerated liver was the diagnosis. And the DB from Colorado State that had the cheap shot on him, he's now getting death threats. And his family, they've kind of doxed him, looked his family up. families getting death threats. Dion kind of tried to calm things down today. Came out and said, "Hey, we've forgiven him." Travis has, he's kid playing football. It just it was one of those things. And
fans have to like stop.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's just too much. I mean, like whether the kid intentionally did it or not, you'll never know what his intentions were. Maybe he didn't see that the ball went over Hunter's head. I don't know, but the death threats, like the athletes, is just, to me, it's just, and for lack of a better word, a pussy move. Like, if you got a problem with him, well, he's a college kid too, so I wouldn't say directed to him. But when you start like harassing his family and stuff like that, I mean, that's like way over the top, dude.
Yeah, I didn't even think. When you look at it when they zoom in, it looks dirty. But if you look at the whole play, like you said, you don't know if he knows that he has the ball or not. Like, he looked like he was just trying to make a hit.
Right.
I mean, it's Travis Hunter. Like, you got to hit him.
I don't think he had malicious intent to like try to injure him and send him to the hospital. But I think he, to borrow a hockey term, was trying to send a message. You know, sometimes like in a hockey series or the way the NBA used to be in the game one or something like that in the playoffs, sometimes you want to foul a guy hard, send a message like, we're going to be here all night. We're going to hit you. It's not going to be easy.
Right.
The way Jordan used to get beat up back in the day.
Yeah, that's the way they stopped him.
Exactly. And so I think he was trying to send a message like, hey, pretty boy, we can play football too. Everyone's talking about you. We're going to hit you, and we're going to hit you a lot. And I think he was probably fine with, hey, I might get this 15 yards, but I'm going to send a message. Like John Chaney used to order a code red,
Yeah.
And I don't think he meant to hurt him. I can't speak for him. I don't think he meant to hurt him and put him in the hospital. It was a dirty play. But what's ironic to me, he gets 15 yards. Colorado State had a defensive end later who gets, it was kind of a bang-bang play, got thrown out for targeting. That's what fucks me up with the targeting rule. Because I could hit Scotti on a bang-bang play and get thrown out for a target. But the obvious, in my opinion, late cheap shot, I get 15 yards and stay in the game. But as long as I don't hit him in the head.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, that's kind of apples and oranges, though.
Well, football.
I get what you're saying, but, I mean, the concussions, they have to be overly protective of that.
True, but if it's a situation where you're defenseless and it's like after the play, I mean, I go back and I look at this, I think he had time to stop. I think he was, hey, I'm going to pop you. I'm going to send a little bit of a message. To me, that's more egregious than like a bang-bang play that happens to be hit in the head. Like, that's what you want to get out of the game first.
Yeah, it's more egregious. But you can't, I mean, they're doing everything they can to stop concussions and, yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, I think it's 50-50. I'm sure the guy, like you said, wanted to blow him up. He was on the sideline. He was reaching up in the air for the ball. He just lost track of the ball like the Colorado State guy and hit him. But to the same extent, in the NFL, Kareem Jackson didn't get suspended for the shot he took on Jacoby Myers the first week against the Raiders, against week one, and then he knocked out Logan Thomas last week.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, he didn't get suspended. He didn't get targeting. We may have got targeting in the Raiders game, but,
he did get ejected in the Washington
Yeah, he got
game.
ejected from.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that was almost like an accumulation. I think, like, somebody got in his ear and said, yeah, this is the same guy that knocked out Jacoby Myers last week. Let's get him out of here.
So,
Let's not even make
I do think, hopefully, that if he wouldn't have got ejected, he probably would be suspended for a game, I think.
I think the suspension thing I don't like because I feel like it gets into a slippery slope of like, because if we hit someone and you break their leg, or if like the Nick Chubb thing yesterday, it was a clean play, it was a football play, but his knee got destroyed. So you send the guy to the hospital, you're going to get ejected because you hurt him. Like that gets into, but I think if it's something well after the play, if it's like a personal foul, cheap shot penalty, I'm fine with an ejection there more so than a targeting call, but. That's why they make the big bucks. We're just the plebes that give money to the NCAA. They don't give a fuck about us. They don't give a fuck about the athletes either. So,
No.
What are you going to do?
Nope.
All right. Well, also college football this week. A couple games coming up. Virginia Tech on the road at Marshall. Thundering Herd 2-0.
2-0.
2-0. That was a team that they beat Notre Dame last year, right? That's a well-coached Marshall team. Yeah, they did. I think they won in South Bend, if I remember correctly. Or was it the year before last? I know they beat Notre Dame recently. I'll have to look that up. But
yeah, I believe so. That sounds right.
Yeah, but, a very good, well-coached team. Virginia Tech going in there. And, Scotty, we were talking about this off the air. It was like Virginia Tech is 5-point dog
5-point underdogs to Marshall.
on the road in Huntington, which I believe, I forget the name of that stadium, but if I remember correctly, it's the only FBS football stadium named after a woman. So there you go, Marshall.
Yeah, I don't have much on this. I haven't even really watched much of Tech so far. I'm a bad fan. I just have a hard time following bad college teams. I don't know, but I mean they do have the Kyron Jones that. I mean, he wasn't great, obviously, because they got their ass kicked, but he does have that kind of dual threat. So who knows, another week under his belt, maybe they can pull the upset, but I wouldn't bet on it.
I think that offense does look better under him than Wells.
Well, yeah, it just gives him another like dynamic.
Yeah, he gives him a second dimension.
Yeah.
He can run. Yeah. But yeah, that little wager with you and our suspended co-host, getting a little more interesting now.
I still feel comfortable about it. Yeah.
Refreshers on that one again?
Well, I mean, if he's still suspended, I am not honoring the bet because
He'll be back.
Okay.
By the end of the year,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah. Well, what was the wager?
So whatever team has the least amount of wins between the two total has to wear the other team's shirt.
And are you getting a new shirt or are you wearing one of his shirts?
That's up to you
vice
guys
versa?
because you brought up, can we make it a pink shirt? So that's up to the
right.
podcast.
That's
Yeah.
right. I feel like that's a good one because all the Christian shirts are going to have like holes in them from 1972, and they'll dwarf
Yeah, so
you.
that might not even be a punishment for him then.
We'll get a new shirt, and they'll dwarf you in size. It'd also be funny to watch him try to wear one of yours, Scotty, because it'll be like a schmedium.
Yeah, it would be a schmedium on him.
In his
Oh
fupa.
no! If I'm gonna win the bet, so I'll go buy a shirt for him.
Get it in schmedium, though.
I want to see his fupa hanging out,
You gotta get it in medium form or small.
Yeah.
I don't have many Tech shirts left. I got a few.
He burned them all after the unfortunate Justin Fuente years.
No, I got one. The old Hollerin' Hokies I got back from my time back there.
Hollerin' Hokies.
Yeah, they tried to be like the Cameron Crazies.
Ah,
It was-
gotcha.
This is
kinda-
pre-Castle Guard.
Is that what they're called now?
Yeah,
I
the
don't even
Castle.
know. Okay.
Yeah, the Castle Guard.
Yeah, it was kind of corny. They tried to do a lot of stuff that the Cameron Crazies did, like turning your back when they announced the lineups. I'm like,
Oh, that was a
I was like, you're trying to be exactly like them. Like, come up with your own shit.
that's a Maryland thing there. Maryland used to do that, turn the back and then read the newspaper
Yeah, and
in
then-
the lineups and throw the newspaper.
When somebody goes and sits down on the bench, they'll as soon as they sit down, they'll be like, "Sit down, you suck." Like Duke
yeah.
does that too.
Yeah, Duke does
Yeah,
do
get
that.
your own shit.
It's all Maryland light. Yeah. And Terps beat the hell out of Virginia on Friday, which we'll be making the trek up to Wahoo Country on Friday to see Virginia take on NC State. Wolfpack rolling into town fresh off a clobbering of VMI, where we really figured out nothing. I didn't even watch this game live. I went back and kind of fast forwarded through it and watched some highlights and stuff. I mean, it's VMI. There was a beer festival. I chose beer festival. It seems like they got some things figured out offensively. There are some concerns injury-wise, especially on the offensive line. Couple of people are day-to-day right now. We'll see how that turns out. But Dylan McMahon, but Virginia, not good. And I think that quest to go winless is going to continue this week. Of course, the storylines of Brendan Armstrong coming home, Ryan, and Robert and I coming home. You think the Virginia fans will be salty to see number 5 step back wearing red and white?
No, they wish he was back wearing orange and blue again. I mean, I guess they'll. I think the Virginia fans will be nice to him. They'll root for him when the game starts. But I think they'll be cool with them. I don't know if they're going to honor him and do any of that stuff. But I don't think the fans will be too on him. I mean, Virginia crowds don't tend to be very hostile or angry anyway.
All 15,000 of the Virginia fans will be there. Will be pretty amped up, I think, to see him. It's going to be a lot of red in that stadium, from what I understand. It's going to be a lot of Wolfpack people there coming up.
Yeah, I mean,
There was a lot of purple, and then they played JMU. They said after the rain delay, it was just like JMU home crowd. They said all the Virginia fans went home.
I'll be wearing a red shirt.
Yeah, the boy.
Look at that. Look at
Converted
that.
Sky to the pack for 1 week, but I'm looking forward to it. I don't think this is going to be a pretty game in any way, shape, or form. I think State's going to. The key is just don't let Virginia get into this game early. Virginia got up 14-0 on Maryland, and then the bottom fell out. But we've seen Maryland do that 2 weeks in a row when they did the same thing to Charlotte.
Yeah, they were up big on JMU too.
Yeah, and Virginia just can't hold on to it. I think if they come out and kind of step on them early, I think you'll take what little bit of crowd they have out of the game, and the oh no, here we go again is going to sit in for Virginia. It's just going to be a long night. I will say, though, I do like Anthony Colandrea, the true freshman quarterback for Virginia. They have some growing pains with him, but the offense does work better under him. It does move, and he's a true freshman. You're going to take your lumps, but that he's got a little moxie. I like him. He talks a little smack. He's high-fiving. He's showing some enthusiasm. Like, I think that kid, give him a couple of years, is going to be good. But right now, he's a true freshman. He's 18 years old. You got to live with the mistakes he makes. But if they trot him out there rather than Tony Muskett, I like Virginia's chances to pull off an upset a little bit more. It goes from 1% to 5%. But that's about it.
He might be at JMU next year.
Right, transfer out.
Hey, he's a Florida kid. FAU may come calling. You never know. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. If you all are in Charlottesville, let us know. Send us a message. We'd like to get some beers with you. Yeah. And you, of course, will be buying those beers. Hey, it's a celebrity appearance.
True. As long as you don't treat us like the KO Spikes and put us in a obstructed seat or whatever the hell happened with him in Buffalo. But
well, my ticket connection did give me two options for tickets, so I think they did take care of me. I don't think we will be getting the obstructed seats. Okay. But yeah, if you want to buy us beers, we except for Scotti, we do like something a little bit nicer. I know I'm drinking this Michelob Ultra now. Hopefully they can send a check to me.
You're the one that would drink anything.
Well, there's partner. I'm going to go ahead and pause on that one. Beer-wise, I will drink just about anything there, but I do like the nicer things, especially in Wahoo Wah country. So I will. My inner cavalier will come out a little bit there with my wine and cheese on Friday. Maybe we'll crash some tailgates.
Such a weird affiliation of schools. Him being an NC State fan.
Yeah.
And then him being a UVA fan, if NC State isn't playing them, just the schools are so
could not be
opposite.
More different. Could not be more different. Well, because I liked UVA over that miserable cow college that we have down I-81.
Okay.
Dragon Tech in
there. A lot of sad years for you then.
What did they say about Virginia Tech? Was it south till you smell it, west till you step in it, or something like that? I believe it is.
Never heard that one.
You never heard that one before?
Corny ass shit UVA people come up with.
Culture versus agriculture. No, then you go right back to NC State being the ag and engineering school. I'm very, on every rivalry I take a side, and some things don't make sense. Like I like Ole Miss over Mississippi State, but then I like A&M over Texas. So it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you're conflicted there.
I'm just an onion. I'm like the Civil War. I'm just divided from within, brother against brother.
You make everybody cry. Is that what you mean?
Yes. Hopefully we'll unify. Ryan, you were there through Reconstruction. Maybe you can help me find out what's going on within me.
Yeah, I'll give you some insight.
All right, there we go. All right, so we got some insight on some picks this week for college and NFL. Scotti, last week I believe you and I took it on the chin, and somehow Father Time had another good week.
Hey, man.
No, so last week I broke even. I was 2-1 in college and 1-2 in NFL. Packers screwed me, but anyways, and you were 1-2 in both, and Ryan was 2-1 in both.
Yes, sir.
Ryan's still killing it.
I would like to point out though, those Wyoming Cowboys. I told you they would cover that spread.
Okay. You're gonna pick out the one win.
One win. He's gonna.
Let's go, Pokes. I told you.
All right, let me look at my one NFL win. What was it? Seahawks. I told you they were gonna cover the 6, and they won outright.
All right,
let me give you my hunch. Remember that Fresno State, Arizona State? They're 3-point favorites. Fresno won 29-0.
Hey. And the only college loss you had was the Iowa under.
Fucking under. Yeah. Fucking Chris's.
That always
damn.
Well, that was your
favorite pick. That was my fault on that one.
Hey, look, Brian Ferentz is coaching for a job right now. Okay, he's going to average those 25 points, and he knew this is a good opportunity to pad that 25 as we get ready for some Big Ten play coming up. He knew what he was doing.
I knew. I mean, I figured it. I thought they would beat them literally 35-0. Like the spread was 42.5. I said maybe 41-0. Like Iowa's defense has been so good. I didn't think they give up 17 against Western Michigan or whatever they did.
Well, let's segue that into our college picks and to start off. I guess I'll start off with my 3. I imagine we'll probably have some overlap on these games.
Yeah.
Big game this week nationally, of course, Colorado at Oregon. Number 19 Buffaloes rolling into Autzen Stadium to take on the number 10 Ducks. Colorado is a 21-point dog in this game when I put this bet in yesterday, according to Caesars. Travis Hunter out, of course, 3 to 4 weeks with a lacerated liver. Colorado's defense carved up by Colorado State. Oregon averaging 58 points a game and over 587 yards of total offense. Bo Nix, 77% of his passes completed, 8 touchdowns, no picks. That being said, I was going to go with the over on this one. I'm going to go actually with Colorado plus a 21. I think it's going to be a shootout, but I think the Buffs have enough offensive firepower to stay in it. I don't think they'll win. They'll probably lose by like 17, but I'm taking Colorado plus a 21 at Oregon.
I like that. I was looking at that, but the line opened at 17. I was actually going to go with Oregon, but then it moved all the way up to 21. So, yeah.
I think I saw DraftKings tweet this afternoon that like 91% of their bets are on Colorado right now, which I'm like, okay.
That is weird.
That's
They must have
odd.
moved that line up before like the money started coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, some books said they lost a bunch of money with people betting on Colorado against TCU, and they still, I guess, they didn't win it back again with the Colorado State Colorado game where people are betting on Colorado, and of course they didn't cover the line, they didn't cover the 23.5. But I'm just like, man, how much money did people put on Colorado to beat TCU? I thought it would be more people putting money on Colorado to destroy Colorado State, especially after all the back and forth during the week and stuff. But one book said, they didn't say the name of the company, but they were like, yeah, we're still a little bit behind.
I think the public was probably still all over, but there was probably some sharks that once that happened and the line moved up, they probably went and grabbed Colorado State.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, it's the old adage, throw out the record books when the rivalries teams get together, so I don't know. All right, my next game, another 3:30 game, CBS. That just feels good. 3:30 CBS, SEC football. Enough of this Big Ten shit on CBS. I'm still getting used to that. But number 15, Ole Miss, rolling into Tuscaloosa, taking on number 13, Alabama. Alabama not in the top 10 for the first time in 8 years, I believe it is. Jalen Milroe starting at quarterback for the Tide, of course. He started against Texas. Then Tyler Buechele started against South Florida before getting benched. Todd Simpson taking over. It's a revolving door right now at quarterback for Alabama. I'm going with the Rebs. They got the win last week, 48-23 at Georgia Tech, but they were without leading wide receiver Trey Harris and leading running back Quinshon Judkins, who is probably the best back no one talks about. He was limited due to injury. If they're back 100%, it's going to be a long day for Alabama. The line on this yesterday on Caesars was Bama by 7. I'm taking the Ole Miss plus 7 on this one now. And I actually going to sprinkle some money on Ole Miss money line too. I think Alabama's just – I think we're starting to see Rome fall with Alabama.
Yeah, how did they not have a quarterback? What is Saban doing?
What surprises me is on the bench at Alabama right now was a starter at Oklahoma State last year, Spencer Sanders. He transferred in. He's sitting behind Jackson Dart at Ole Miss right now. Like, they were never in communication with him to try to go out and get him. I don't know. It seems like Alabama wants to get back to more of what they did in the early 2000s, late 2000s, early, what do you call it, aughts when you get into the teens?
Yeah.
Yeah. But when they had that power run game, and you had guys like McElroy playing quarterback and stuff, like these weren't world beaters at quarterback. They didn't have these dynamic guys like Bryce Young. And I think they're trying to transition to that, but you got to get better quarterback play than what they have right now.
I think Alabama also is, they're going down the same road as Clemson to me, because you don't hear a lot of guys, well, you don't hear a lot of name guys transferring in Alabama. I feel like Saban likes to recruit his players, develop his players, kind of like Dabo does. Dabo's Sweeney at Clemson, and I just think he has to change his mindset and saying we got to get these kids that want to play for us anyway, that are hot, that are big names versus just going with the kid that we have to develop. They may not be good as we thought they were, and then we're gonna have a flat season like they are now, where they've lost. But they only lost one game. They lost 2 games. No, one.
No, they lost one, but
One Texas.
last week may as well have been a loss the way they
Right.
played against South Florida.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just think he has to change his thinking of, like, when he went from all the running to, being a passing team, and now he's kind of, like you're saying, kind of revolving back to a run.
Right.
Or in a game.
Then my third one on my card, Under the Lights, 7:30 NBC Saturday night. Ohio State, number 6 at number 9, Notre Dame. Of course, Marcus Freeman coaching against his alma mater. Sam Hartman's been okay for Notre Dame. He's been good, but not great. They haven't really needed him to be great.
Or as I call him, to be Jesus.
He hasn't needed to be great just yet. Cal McCord getting the start, of course, for Ohio State. His 4th career start. He's going on the road in South Bend. I don't know if he's ready for that environment. And this Notre Dame team is good. They play good defense. They got one of the best tackles in the country. And the running back, Audric Estime, he's averaging 8.3 yards per carry and over 130 yards a game right now. Now, albeit some of that was against Navy and Tennessee State. But still, I think the line right now, as I close out my thing, it was Notre Dame +3 on Monday. I'm going to go ahead and take the Irish plus 3 points. But once again, I'll be sprinkling some money on Notre Dame money line there as well.
Actually, I agree with you. That almost made my my picks, but not quite. That would have been a 4th game if we had one. But yeah.
What's on your card?
Are we going to me next?
Yeah, might as well. You were talking about your card. I had a 4th one there was an ACC game that I almost put on there, but let's just say I didn't want to talk positively about Carolina.
All right, my first pick is I'm going with the Colorado-Oregon game too, but I'm actually going to the under 71.5. I think Colorado, they had 20 points against Colorado State with like under 2 minutes left. That game doesn't go to overtime. It's a much different looking score. And like everybody's just expecting this crazy shootout. A lot of the times when that happens, it doesn't really even come close to the number. I think it's kind of going to be like that this weekend. Oregon had them 81 points the first week against, what was it?
Portland State, the Vikings.
Yeah, and they've went under the last 2 weeks, I think, after that. So, yeah, I think it would be maybe they try to slow it down, maybe Colorado, because once they see a real, Colorado's offense is obviously amazing, and not even to mention with Travis Hunter out, but they might see Oregon and be like, oh, this is like the real deal. This is what we want to be, and maybe they'll slow it down a little bit. I don't know. I just feel like it's not going to be – 71 is a lot of points.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
You tell me it would be like 37-33 and I hit the under. Yeah, I'll take that. So that's my first pick. My second pick is going to be UCLA plus 4.5. And this is more just kind of fading Utah because they're 3-0, but they really haven't looked great. When they beat Florida, I felt like Florida was moving the ball on them. They just kept hurting themselves. They get in the red zone or across the 50 and just do something stupid to not get any points. And then let's see what I got here. So yeah, that's UCLA plus 4.5 is my second pick. And yeah, I think UCLA will put up some points on them enough to at least keep it within that 4.5. But yeah, that's my second pick. This third pick is such a trap. I feel like this might be on Ryan's card. Or no. Because you were saying you were liking Clemson. I don't know if you still do. But
Ryan likes the Christians against the Lions in the Coliseum.
I'm going Florida State minus 2.5. It feels like the biggest trap of all time, but Clemson just hasn't looked right. Even Klubnik last week. Who did they play last week? Whoever, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
they played.
Was it Florida Atlantic?
Yeah.
And they won. They crushed them, but he did not. His numbers were not great. I didn't watch the game, but his numbers were not great at all. They just haven't looked right. I just don't think they're there. I think Florida State was obviously probably overlooking Boston College by letting them back in it last week, and I think they're going to be ready for this one, and they'll win by at least 3.
Tigers 48-14 last week at home over the Mighty Owls of Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, but Klubnik was not great. He's going to have to play very well to
He had 3 touchdowns, but only 169 yards
right,
passing.
Yeah.
It's Florida Atlantic.
But yeah.
Well, I'm going to be a man of my word with my first pick. And again, I still don't see Florida State going into Death Valley beating Clemson. I just don't see it. Florida State showed a lot of issues last week with Boston College. I know Klubnik didn't look good, but I think it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be one of those games that Clemson's going to kind of play keep away with the ball, and they're going to play to their defense. And, and let Shipley work. He's been having a really good year this year. And I don't know. I just haven't seen enough out of Florida State to be like, yeah, they're going to go into Death Valley and beat them. And you've seen a lot of teams that they thought, oh, this is the team to beat them. I know NC State went down there last year. Everybody thought we got Leary. We got, a very experienced team, good defense. We didn't do it. Wake Forest, I think a couple of years went down there with Sam Hartman when they were like a top 10 team. Clemson destroyed them. I just don't see upstarts going into Death Valley beating them. So I'm going to take Clemson plus the 2.5. I didn't take them outright, but I just think this game is going to be super close. If not, Clemson's going to win.
Yeah, that's probably the right pick. I've been wrong on Florida State, I think, every week so far. So
yeah, according to CBS Sports, like it's such a landslide on the bets. I think it says like 83% of the public is taking the 2.5, and well, they have taken Florida State in the points where and then 76% are taking money line. So I just feel. I don't know.
And it still hasn't moved to 3 yet, so that is kind of scary.
Yeah, I feel like it's to start off at 1. So I don't know. I just think this is going to be a much more competitive game than the public is showing with their betting. I guess I'm going all kind of opposite against Scotti this week because my
conflict.
I am fucked.
My second game is Utah covering the 4.5 on UCLA. I think Cam Rising is going to be back. It's not official, but they say that he has a good shot at coming back. I know he didn't play last week when they played. Who did they have last week? Anybody, it was some chump that they played. Team that they
he hasn't played all year.
Right.
Was it Weber State, I think?
Yeah. Weber State, yes, it was.
Wildcats.
Yep, Weber State, and they destroyed them like the third string quarterback. I want to say 31-7. But I think they've been tested this year. They played Florida, who's turned out to be a pretty decent team. And then they played Baylor, who, again, they're 0-2 this year, I want to say. But they've played tough. They played teams tough this year. Actually, Baylor is 1-2. They beat LIU last week.
Long Island University, baby. Sharks.
There it is. But, yeah, I think – I just feel like Utah is gonna win. It's hard to beat them there, 1, and then 2. I don't know. I don't think UCLA playing North Carolina Central and what other chumps they've played this year.
Yeah, they haven't played anybody yet. That is true.
I think they're gonna have a awakening, in terms of the level of competition when they play Utah. So I like Utah with the 4.5, covering the 4.5 on Saturday afternoon. And then I'm going to agree actually with Leon. This is the one I'll lose.
I don't like it.
I'm going to go Notre Dame money line over Ohio State. Again, I agree with Leon on all his points. McCord is very new. I don't know if he's going to be ready for a 7:30 national game against Notre Dame. Hartman has much more experience in these bigger games. The running back, can't pronounce his name.
Audric Estime.
Estime is a beast. The fact that they, to be honest with you, I know I'm a little bit of a homer with NC State, but the fact that they made NC State look so bad on defense when considering NC State has had one of the better defenses in the nation for the last 2 or 3 years, really showed me a lot. Like, Notre Dame's offense is legit. That's not going to be the problem with the team. It's going to be defense, if anything. I just think they're gonna beat Ohio State. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 10-point win by Notre Dame, to be honest with you. I just think this is Notre Dame's year. I think Ohio State, it's something that's off on that team. I don't know what it is because they have all the weapons in the world. Marvin Harrison Jr., you haven't even heard of him this year. Like, what is he doing? Like, I don't know.
Someone's got to give him football.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And that's they got to get him the ball for him to win that game on Saturday night. So I do like Notre Dame money line.
So should we invest in helmets right now? Because the Colt, that is the Ohio State fan, they're from that shit state of Ohio. The water is polluted. Cleveland, the Cuyahoga River caught on fire. We know all the tropes. They're very angry people in that state. And they do have a lot of fast food, so they are fat, just like me. And they're angry, kind of like me. I guess they're kind of like a bizarro version of Leon, but they love some Buckeyes. And that's all they got there. We might want to invest in helmets.
No love for our Hopewell product, Travion Henderson.
No love.
No love for Hopewell.
No love. There's no hope. He was the only hope in Hopewell, and he got out of town. That tells you everything you need to know there.
They just call it well now. You drive over, it's like, well,
that's not
well. There was a gas station here, and now it's gone. All right, so that's college picks, and if you want to sponsor this segment, like you could potentially make a Lobo Ultra if you want to send us a check. That is hit us up at is it info?
Is it info?
I think it's
Yeah,
info.
it is info,
Info.
now. We did,
Info.
Yeah, info at let's not do this podcast.com.
Info at let's not do this podcast.com. And of course, if you're listening this far in, make sure that you hit that subscribe button on Twitter. Oh, no. On Twitter too, but on X, mainly on YouTube. Hit the little subscribe thing and tell a friend as we transition now to hopefully make you some money in the National Football League. Ryan, since we'll let age go before BD, I guess I'll go next. So I'll let you go first with your NFL picks.
NFL picks.
How's that for a segue?
Yeah, that was. I appreciated that. Not really, but my first pick. This is the one I think I'm going to regret. Out of all the ones I picked this week, is I'm taking the Jets +3, which I was just shocked that they're getting points.
Back on the Jets.
+3, yeah. I did it last week and didn't work, but we'll do it again against the Patriots on Sunday afternoon. The Patriots are gritty and tough, but I don't know, man. I just don't think they have enough to beat the Jets at the not at the Meadowlands, but their new stadium,
MetLife
Stadium. That shows how old I am. Like the Meadowlands is in my brain for their
I thought you
stadium.
were going to say Shea Stadium. Wasn't that their first
Yeah,
stadium?
that's before they got to the Meadowlands, I'm going to say. But, yeah, I just think Mac Jones is going to make enough mistakes where, the Jets will be able to create short fields for him. I think the Jets play a little bit better at home anyway. I think Zach Wilson may be a little more comfortable at home. They're getting to beat the Bills last week or this first week of the year. I know Belichick has a great record against the Jets, but I don't know. The Patriots they hung with Miami, but Miami doesn't have any defense, and Miami's defense looked great against the Jets. Juju Smith-Schuster looks old. I don't know if anybody saw any of that game, but when he was running around, it looked like it hurt from just a run.
Remember, they said his knee could explode at any time.
He doesn't look good. Something's going on with that knee. But
yeah, hopefully Breece Hall will get more than 4 carries this week.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right. Well, they're behind so early against the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I think they just kind of
still.
chucked out. Yeah, I agree. You got to get the ball to your best players, but that's my first bet. The next two are going to be a couple of over and unders. The first one is going to be Panthers, Seahawks, where the over-under that I have it at is 42. I believe the Seahawks have really gotten on track right now from last week's game against the Lions, which I called, and it's going to be a shootout. It was a shootout. 38-35, I want to say, in overtime. No, that couldn't be 38-35 in overtime. It was 38-31, I believe, in overtime. The Seahawks won.
I'll look it up. I'll go back to it.
37-31? They don't kick that.
It was
point.
37-31.
37-31.
Yeah.
And I believe the Seahawks are back on track offensively. I feel like the Panthers, even though they're not good on offense, I believe they can probably squeak out 14 to 17 points. Seattle isn't a very stout team either. So I kind of feel like the score of this game is going to be like a 30 to 17 type of win for Seattle. They probably win pretty comfortably. Panthers on a short week. Got to travel cross country. I feel like Seattle can exploit that on Carolina and maybe put up some big numbers like they did last week against the Lions.
I like that.
The last pick is Pittsburgh against the Raiders. Pittsburgh against Las Vegas. In Las Vegas, I just believe the over-under is 43. I'm taking the over on this one, too. I just think this is going to be a track meet. The Raiders can't stop nobody. Bills dropped, 38 on them last week.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers, not saying that they've found their offense, but I believe their defense may get turnovers in that game against the Raiders, even though Garoppolo's been pretty good with the ball this year. But I just feel like this is a game. I feel like the Steelers defense has kind of found what they need to do to try to score points. I think Highsmith, the guy last night, kind of said it perfectly. They said the first week against San Fran, they were playing more just to stop them and not to be aggressive, where this week they played more aggressive and they were looking to strip the ball. They were looking to score points.
Yeah.
Because they knew that their offense just isn't doing it right now. So I think that they'll get possibly another they'll score some more points or maybe just create shorter fields for their offense to work. And I think if Pittsburgh can get back on track, it's going to be this game. I feel like the Raiders, they'll score some points. They're not going to be as bad as they were last week, I don't think. But again, I think 43 is just a little bit low in this game. I can see this game being, 24-21, or I just don't see it being a super duper low scoring game. But the games this year in the NFL have surprised me in terms of what the offenses are doing. It seems like it's very defensive dominated. So I got the over on Steelers Raiders on Sunday night.
All right. Okay. That was on my board, but I decided to not go with it. But I was going in a similar road. Okay. Well, I will start off here. I'm going to go with the Disappointment Bowl, as I've dubbed it. 1 p.m. Fox, Minnesota hosting the Chargers. Both teams 0-2 on the season. When I saw the line yesterday, it was the Vikings by 1 point. Over-under was like 54, I think it was. On this game, I'm actually going to go over 54 points. Both of these defenses are about as effective as the Maginot line. Look that one up, kids.
I'll have to.
You know what?
What number was it?
Over 54.
Okay.
You guys don't know what the Maginot line is?
Nope.
Sounds like an Italian restaurant.
Yeah, that's what I was doing, yeah. I heard they got good pizza.
After World War I, the French were determined they would never have to fight another war on their own soil. So they were always worried about the Germans attacking. So they dug essentially and built like a wall and essentially like fortified the defenses. Well, this also prevented them from ever like being on the offense going against Germany too. And as we can tell by the history of World War II, the Maginot Line did not work out real well, especially when the Germans went hey diddle diddle and went through the Ardennes forest. That's your history lesson there, folks.
Oh, okay.
But their defense is about as effective as the Maginot Line there.
Sponsored by America Heroes
channel. I don't know what that would be sponsored by.
American Heroes channel, yeah.
You start talking about walls, who knows?
But by the way, Justin Herbert finally getting some criticism. His last 3 starts, he blew it. It's not just him, but they blew a 27-0 lead to the Jags in the playoffs. They couldn't get in the field goal range at the end of the game against Miami. Then they got the ball in overtime and went 3-and-out last week against the Titans there. Mm-hmm. I think this team in the Chargers is still broken from that Jacksonville loss, and I don't think they figured out how to put all the pieces back together from it. Sometimes like a loss has like a hangover and it's like 2, 3, 4 losses. I think this loss is going to hang over them for the whole season. And they're not good on defense, and I don't think that coaching staff is good. There could be some changes there. I just don't have a lot of faith in them. In Minnesota, they can score points with the best of them, and I really like the rookie receiver Jordan Addison. Mm-hmm. He's putting up some numbers. Justin Jefferson, of course, is a freak. And Kirk Cousins in non-primetime games will pull up some numbers. So, I like the over 54 here.
That almost made my board.
And then in my second game, I'm going to go with the former Tuna Bowl, the Patriots at the Jets here. No deep analysis on this one. New England was a 2.5-point favorite. I'm just going to go with the Patriots money line on this one. My reason behind this is the Patriots playoff hopes effectively are dead if they go to 0-3, and I just can't see a Bill Belichick team going to 0-3, and especially facing a team with Zach Wilson at quarterback. He wasn't the complete problem last week against Dallas, but there's a tremendous drop-off between him and Aaron Rodgers, and I just can't see the Patriots starting off.
All right, I gotta throw a flag here.
What?
Their money line. We got to come up with a limit on these bets because their money line's minus 142.
Okay,
so, I mean,
I will amend. I will amend. You know what? Give me your card. Where's your card?
I don't know. I don't have them.
Here,
Ryan, throw a flag.
Borrow my card. All right. So
do we want to set up a limit for our picks? Because we can't be like, I think what's the biggest favorite?
I wasn't going to go if it was like minus 340 or something like that.
I can't be like, the Ravens money line. It looks pretty good to me this week.
Yeah, I really like Ohio State against Western Kentucky. Yeah,
we'll give you the Patriots money line.
Okay.
But going forward, that's something we should have addressed before we even started all this. We should figure that out.
Hard limit. Okay. I see that. I see your point.
That's why I think it's a little funky too. Like the Patriots that much of a favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I left that alone. I was like, that doesn't. I don't.
Part
of that.
I see Leon's point, but it's just like they're 0-2 and they're going to I know it's Zach Wilson, but they did beat the Bills there. Like, I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
to me. That's
Very
one of them
conflicting.
games. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going to happen in that game.
I got a feeling that the Patriots are going to take the air out of the ball and just run it a lot, and you're going to see a healthy. The Jets have a great defensive line, but I think they might try to use that strength against them, and maybe those guys over pursue. But I think you're going to see a lot of Stevenson and a lot of Zeke, and just kind of just
Take
pound
care
it,
of
pound it, pound it, pound it. You know, and don't let Sauce Gardner beat you. Don't let Gary Wilson beat you.
Right.
And then finally, for my third game, I'm going to go with the Jimmy Haslam Bowl. Didn't Jimmy Haslam? He's a Tennessee alum, right? The Browns owner.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Titans at the Browns. Cleveland is a 3-point favorite in this game. Short week for the Browns after the Monday Night Football loss. Deshaun Watson just has not looked good. Titans need to get Derrick Henry going. He's got one touchdown on the year, averaging 71.5 yards on the ground. I got a feeling, Tennessee's going to ground and pound on this one. That Cleveland defense is good, but those guys just play a very physical, very emotional game against Pittsburgh on Monday Night Football. And the last thing I want to see after that is to get a heavy dose of Derrick Henry, especially in the fourth quarter. So I think they're just going to pound away, and 22 is going to make a difference, especially late in that game. So I like Tennessee plus the 3 points in this one.
Okay.
Not bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like the analysis on that, actually. Makes sense.
that's the Big O's bets there. And by the way, if I can put one on my college thing that I didn't want to do, this is not on my board, but I just want to mention it real quick. Was Carolina at Pitt. I was going to go with Carolina and under 50, but I didn't. I can't live in a world where the Tar Heels are 4-0, and it would be the first time that it happened since '97. When they,
Oh, really?
Remember that year they went like 11-1. They lost to Florida State in College Game Day. Came to Chapel Hill. Like Oscar Davenport. Yeah, like I think Chris Keldorf might have been there. And that was Mac Brown's last year before he went to Texas.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I was in Raleigh. I was
Carl Torbush coached
school.
him in the bowl game. Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't bring myself to want. I don't want to see it. But I couldn't bring myself to bet on Carolina to go 4-0. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. So now that I'm speaking it, I'm hoping that this is the reverse juju.
Yeah,
So
you're good with that reverse juju.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll explode like Juju's knee.
It looked like it's about to.
Yeah.
He can get the same doctor that Dick Chubb has. Poor guy. All right. Well, speaking of exploding, Scotty exploded on those hoes.
Jesus Christ, dude. You're not even trying. What was that?
I don't know.
That's just vulgar.
I'm tired and I'm very hungry. All right.
Wow.
That's
Too
a fat.
easy.
That's a fat
Yeah,
bad
too
joke in there
easy.
somewhere.
All right, so we'll just get into it. The
That's what
first
she
pick,
said.
we're going the Buffalo Bills at my Washington Commanders.
Oh,
Have they changed
Yeah.
their name yet?
They haven't,
Okay.
but we got Sam Howell, who is actually showing calls for optimism there. It got kind of ugly going down 21-3. Russ was actually looking like he might start cooking, but he was basically just serving appetizers, and then my old Commanders came and burned his kitchen down. But yes, Sam Howell had some. Well, no, Sam Howell. That's fair. No, I was impressed with Sam Howell. He, that touchdown pass to McLaurin was just insane. He brought him back. He had a rough start and didn't let it affect him, and brought the team back. And then you got Buffalo with Josh Allen, who struggled the first week. So, this 6.5 line. With all that being said, I'm going to Bills minus 6.5.
oh, what the fuck? Wow. I want to give you another one, but I'm gonna be nice.
As a Commanders fan, it just feels like getting our hopes up, and they had was probably a lot of emotion with that comeback win, and it just feels like it's going to be a letdown this week. The Bills coming in, Allen looked a lot better last week, and I feel like people were kind of not writing them off, but they keep being this team that's supposed to get to the Super Bowl, and they could never get there. Now they're not that team anymore. I think they are, but you don't hear a lot of people picking them to go to the Super Bowl this year, and I think they have something to prove, and it just feels like a setup for us to not get blown out, but I think the Bills will win by at least 7. So that's my first pick with the little redirect.
You've been studying some Lee Corso film there?
Yeah, not so fast.
Not so fast, my
But I don't hate Dion, so
Did y'all notice that when he put the Buffalo helmet on, everybody saw game day on Saturday.
Yeah.
He put the Buffalo mascot head on.
Chip.
And he said, this is for Chris Fowler.
Yeah.
Like he didn't mention anything
yeah.
about Dion. I was like, yeah, this dude
weird.
don't like Dion.
And it wasn't
like
any
Chris
analysis.
Fowler.
Yeah, he just put it on. He didn't say much.
Yeah.
I think he knew that he wasn't going to leave Boulder intact with that crowd there.
Right. Yeah. I just thought it was very strange for his 400th one. He was very like low key.
Yeah.
You know.
So I'm kind of with my second pick. I'm kind of fading Denver here because of last week. They just after going up 21-3 and then just losing that game like that. I think things are not going to go well. I don't know if Russell Wilson's going to be the starting quarterback all season. I feel like Sean Payton's going to try to get cute and put one of his guys in there. I don't know, but I'm just going Dolphins -6.5. That also feels a little trappy to me, but the Dolphins are just playing so well and the Broncos are not. So I'm going to go ahead and take that.
Jalen Waddle, I think, is in concussion protocol right now, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I believe he is.
That's fine. Whatever. I mean,
He's still got Tyreek Hill.
yeah, right. And let's see. And Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, that's
Going
my
crazy.
guy.
Can't teach
Fantasy
speed.
guy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got him. Damn, Brian's team's stacked over here.
He saved my butt without Eckler playing.
Get that senior discounts. You got extra picks.
Yeah.
Even though I do got Cam Akers, so the draft wasn't really that great, but
Well, we'll see. All right, so my last NFL pick here, I'm going Chicago and Kansas City. I'm going over the 47.5. I think the Chiefs are at home. I think that offense gets back on track this week against a not a very good Chicago defense. And then at the same point, I could see Justin Fields kind of being like, all right, I just got to start running my ass off again. And I think they'll put up some points this week, enough to get them. I can see it being like the Chiefs getting at least 30 points. And I think the Bears can get to like 14, 17, so 47.5.
that's a good
It seems kind of low to me.
If you're a Bears fan watching this game, like, are you on like suicide watch? Because like, you just look at Patrick Mahomes, and you think just like what could have been. You drafted Mitchell Trubisky.
I think they've been doing that for a while. Just different players, yeah.
That's very true. But like, literally, I mean, you just look at we could have had him. He was there.
Well, the Bears do have 2 first-round picks next year because they got those picks from. I mean, they could package those up and go for Caleb.
Yeah, they need to hope whoever is number one is like already has their quarterback.
Well, if they keep playing like they played the last couple
it's
weeks,
gonna
they
be
might be
Arizona.
number
So
one.
what's
themselves.
funny, when we were down 21-3, the Commanders, I started going through my head like, is there any way we'll be bad enough to get Caleb Williams? And then we come back, it's like a whole different mindset. But
That's where like every bad team is right now. This is like a pivotal week. Like, are we going to suck enough to be in that conversation, or can we like salvage something now? This is like a big week for that, and I think especially Chicago, because the jury's still out on Justin Fields. He hasn't been great, and you're right. You know, he probably is just going to go back to running everywhere, and how sustainable is that for him? Probably not very, as we've seen the history of running quarterbacks in the league. So I don't know.
yeah, going back to that over real quick though for Chicago, Kansas City, I could see Kansas City putting up 38, 41 points. So I mean,
they can easily do it.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, cool. That's a sports segment here on the podcast as we transition to the last few minutes here. One thing that dominated the news cycle over the last, as we tape this here on Tuesday nights, over the last like 24 hours or so, was United States military apparently lost the F-35. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is like a very sophisticated weapon. This is probably like the baddest motherfucker of like fighter jets like out there right now, and all the stealth technology where you can't track it and stuff like that. Pretty much, if we're going to go blow up your country, this is what we're flying in there. And apparently a pilot ejected out of the F-35 over Charleston, South Carolina, and allegedly the plane was on, I guess, autopilot or cruise control, maybe, whatever you want to call it. And it was, what's the stealth mode or the driverless mode on Tesla called? I don't know. We're all too poor.
Hands free.
Yeah, we're all too poor.
I don't even look at anything Tesla because it's not in my budget.
We're just like those Cowboys fans running in. We're the poors.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that thing was flying unassisted essentially, and the military essentially put out a statement. Hey, can you help us find it? And they gave a phone number. Allegedly, I guess as we tape this afternoon, evening, there's been some debris spotted. I guess that plane is like crashed and landed or whatever. But
Had to have at this point.
How the fuck do you lose a $80 million airplane?
Guess they don't got a low jack on that motherfucker or something. I mean,
Yes.
like, I don't know.
It's
Like,
supposed to be stealthy.
yeah, I guess it works. I guess they're
Yeah.
like, damn, we can't find our own planes now.
It is kind of funny to see them putting up, like, when people put, like, their lost dog thing on Facebook. It's like, bro, like, what's going on?
Right. Right.
I kept thinking about what was it? Not Forgetting Sarah Marshall. What was the movie? There's Something About Mary.
Okay.
Remember
Yeah.
the kid? Have you seen my baseball? I'm not gonna do the voice.
Yeah.
I don't get canceled. But have you seen my baseball? I just kept thinking, like, have you seen my F-35?
So, I mean, did the pilot sell it? Is that what happened?
Well, here's the thing. That thing has a 1,200.
I don't know how you would catch it, but
That thing has a 1,200 mile radius, right? So he ejects out of this thing. That thing could have been anywhere from like Cuba to Costa Rica, I think, almost, or Mexico or wherever that thing's going to go if it's on. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know how the planes can, like, in midair dock and refuel? Maybe, if you sold it somewhere else, maybe somebody else from, I don't know, does Costa Rica have an Air Force? Or is it just a bunch of guys throwing coconuts? I don't know.
I was thinking Russia.
So
That
he's-
might be racist.
So he sold it, and he made up this cockamamie thing that he wasn't, like, he had to eject out near Charleston or something.
Maybe.
And like the
I don't
plane,
know.
like you're saying, the plane is in Cuba somewhere.
Maybe.
That would be
It's
the
just-
craziest
it's
story
just a
of
theory.
all time.
Maybe he traded it for, like, a lot of Cuban cigars. How many Cuban cigars you think you can get with an F-35?
All of them.
Just get the whole island?
Yeah.
I just understand all the fucking money in the world that they used to make that plane, and they didn't have any way of tracking it.
Yeah, and just one pilot. Like, that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Why isn't there like where's
Something.
Mongoose? Where's Goose?
Where's Goose?
Where's Mongoose?
Or as our,
Where's Goose?
our suspended friend said, it should have been an air tag on it or something.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I
Which I get.
it
It's
sounds like a
stealth.
fake story. That's why I didn't
Yeah.
believe you. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I get that it's stealth. Like, you don't want to track it, but we got to be able to track it somehow,
Right.
some way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. I saw a tweet today. I don't want to go down a conspiracy theory hole, but I saw it was like some aviation expert. They said that when this plane first came out, I want to say it was like, I forget what year it was, but when it first came out, there were concerns that it could be hacked. So now there are conspiracy theorists online saying maybe the plane was hacked. But how the hell do you hack an aircraft flying overhead? That's for a lot of people that are smarter.
I guess
than
it's
me.
possible. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Could
probably
this
just
be a disgruntled employee? Like, you put in some PTO and they, like,
got
declined it? Yeah, he
denied.
got, like, a notification while he was flying. It's like, fuck this. Like, just,
I'm out.
yeah.
I'm out.
You know what?
Let them figure that shit out.
He denied my vacation in South Carolina. I was going to play golf and get some barbecue. And what's that place? Rodney Scott's. I was going to get some Rodney Scott barbecue.
He's
Exactly.
like, he's like, I'm over it right now.
Yeah, I'm gone. Like you said, guys, when we going back, let's fly over to Charleston. By that point, I'll know if my PTO has been denied or not. If not,
Right.
fuck it, I'm going.
I just see like someone parachuting, landing next to a smoker. It's like, I'll take some ribs.
Yeah, take some
Let me
ribs.
get a couple hush puppies.
He did land in somebody's backyard, right?
Is
That's
that
what
where
I read. Yeah,
Is that where he
he
landed?
like parachuted into somebody's backyard.
Can you imagine like some like 63-year-old woman out back doing some gardening, and all of a sudden like this military dude just lands in your backyard, which has got to be like an everyday occurrence in Ukraine right now, right?
Jeez.
Wow.
That email is info. Let's not do this. All right, so I guess nothing nefarious may have happened here, but I just don't know how you lose that. Is that the worst thing that you could lose? It's like a fighter jet.
It's up there for sure.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't see you could really lose a tank. Maybe I feel because that's going to leave tracks. Like
Yeah, I guess.
I guess the Soviet Union when that fell, there was a lot of like missing like warheads and stuff like that. And I think some of those got sold on the black market. But that's really theft more so than like missing.
A missing atomic bomb.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if I guess it would be very hard to move, but at the same time, I guess you could move it. It would be bad.
Yeah.
At what point, like, what do we send to go find it? Like, let's say it didn't crash. How would we find it?
Obviously, there's nothing. That's why they're asking the entire United States to help find it.
So is this like Independence Day where you got that drunken guy and a crop duster going up to go fight the aliens?
So my thing is, why? So you asked the public to help you find it. Where they're just gonna go look out their window? Like, you don't think if they heard like a jet crash that they're not gonna say something?
Right, or somebody will see it or something,
Yeah.
unless it just landed in the fucking woods, like on Top Gun Maverick. I mean, like, that's what happened to his plane. He, like, fell out in the middle of nowhere. Like, his plane crashed in the middle of nowhere and nobody could find him.
Yeah. I don't know.
No spoilers, I don't think, for the public.
I haven't seen it yet,
I
but
think it's been out long.
Right.
Jesus Christ, Scotty.
But, I mean, the only reason that he was found was because his boy was still looking for him, and they found him, Rooster, whatever the new guy is, Goose's son.
I forget his name, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's Rooster. But yeah, I mean, it's like, that's the same thing. It's like, how the hell can you not find your guy? Like, there's gotta be some tracking, like you're saying, that we have that other countries can't hack into, but who knows these days?
What if that thing had managed to like land itself? Let's say it didn't crash, right? Let's say it like landed somehow. I don't know, maybe on like Interstate 85, one of the stretches of 85 in South Carolina that doesn't have potholes every goddamn where on it.
It's hard to find.
Yeah, but let's say that
I was
thing
going to
landed.
say, yeah, that road's already so fucked up. Might as well land there.
And let's say he landed there and some drunken Clemson fan like hops in this thing. How much leverage does he have? Can he trade this to the government to like have his taxes absolved or whatever? Like, is there a finder's fee on like an F-35?
It's gotta be.
Yeah, I would think so.
Man, it's like,
You make it a founder's fee. Like, hey, I have your plane, but
Right.
I got the Palestinians on line 1 right now, sir. All right, well, we'll see what happens there. Apparently, this thing, luckily the pilot was okay. That's the good thing. But by the way, I don't know anything about the military. I didn't serve or anything like that. But I would not want to have to go and speak with my commanding officer after this happened. Yeah. Imagine that in your end of year report. Well, let's see, Scotty. You flew X amount of missions. 100% score there. Okay. Oh, you lost a goddamn $80 million plane.
yeah, I think that's a pretty big red X.
What had happened
on here.
was
Yeah. So you might have already said this, but did he say why he ejected himself?
From what I understand, when I was reading yesterday, when I was reading through this, the pilot apparently was still trying to remember everything and kind of come through. He didn't really have a lot to say. Albeit, you've been through a traumatic situation. I can only imagine being in the sky and like, oh my God, my plane's going to go down. I got to eject. You got a parachute. I imagine hitting the ground is still probably pretty hard. So, he's been through some shit. He's been through some shit.
I don't know. I'm starting to think he sold it.
I don't know.
Who's got the money that's near us? That's a lot of pesos, man.
You don't know how much money it would take for him to do that? That might be racist.
What he wants, an all expenses paid trip to Puerto Vallarta?
What do you think if like Russia came up and was like, we'll give you $2 billion for this? And he's like, no, I want 3.
Does Russia have $2 billion right
I don't know.
now?
Asking the wrong person.
Yeah.
about that.
Well, you got the Zelensky shirt on. He's in America right now.
This is blue.
Blue, black, I don't know.
Whoa.
May be racist.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah. Hey, but speaking of which, Scotty, can you have your boy wire us some money while he's here in America right now?
My boy.
Yeah, a lot in there.
Jeez. Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, well, all right. So speaking of flight, one last story I wanted to get to here. So there's a Spanish soccer club called Las Palmas. Now I know you guys aren't familiar with La Liga, but it comes on ESPN, family networks, mainly ESPN Plus. So they were going to Seville to play a match, and they ended up showing up there without 17 of their players. So apparently what had happened was these guys were looking for coffee in the airport. They had a layover. I guess they stopped, maybe in the league of this team isn't that great anyway, so maybe they're not flying, first class and direct. But they were looking for coffee, and they missed their flight. And so the team had to charter another plane to get these 17 players there. And, of course, things went from bad to worse because they ended up losing 1-0. I believe they're 18th at the table right now. I think they're in the relegation zone right now in La Liga. I got so many questions here. How does 17 players miss a flight?
Because they don't give a shit. If you're in line for coffee,
Yeah.
and you're like, hey, my plane's about to leave. If you gave a shit, wouldn't you just get the fuck out of the line and go get on the plane and get the coffee that's on the plane?
Well, you never drink airplane coffee. That's a no-no there.
Okay, I was gonna say, why didn't you just go to wait until you got on the airplane? But I didn't realize the airplane coffee was so bad.
No, you never drink airplane coffee.
If I remember this correctly, where were they getting the coffee from? It wasn't like a great place.
Nah, I forget the name of the place, but it wasn't like,
See if I can find it.
Like Caribou coffee, or
I don't think they have caribou coffee in Spain.
I don't know. I don't know.
King's Paul's or King Juan's
It
coffee?
was at the airport.
Yeah. Well, they got coffee stands in the airport. I'm sure they have better coffee options in Spain, a country that's not necessarily known for their coffee than we have here. Because pretty much if you're getting airport coffee here, it's not like, I mean, Starbucks is, say what you will, but it's pedestrian coffee.
So you're at the airport in line for coffee, and your plane's leaving, and you're just still in line. 17 of you. I don't know.
How big is this airport? Because
this
apparently
team-
they were further enough away.
This team deserves to get relegated. So
Did you think they charged them for the flight?
yes.
Sure, they got fined. by
Wait,
the
charge
team.
who? The players?
Yeah. Like if this happened, let's say the Dallas Cowboys, and let's say that Dak and Van Der Esch, when he's actually healthy and not injured, let's say these guys are CD Lamb. CD Lamb looks like he might like a nice macchiato or something like that.
Sure, he's fancy.
Yeah, he's a fancy boy. Let's say these guys are trying to get some coffee, and they missed the flight. You think old Jerry is gonna make them pay for the charter flight?
I'm sure he will.
Depends on who the players are.
Right, that's true too.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's true.
If CD Lamb's in there, he might pay for it.
That's right,
But
Jerry.
if it's a bunch of non-impact players, I won't say impact, but not the big names, yeah, he'd probably make them pay for it.
So I used to work in a athletic capacity with UVA, and we would travel. And I would travel with some teams, and we would count off. Like you knew, like you had 37 people or whatever in the traveling party for this team. You would count off. Okay, we got all 37 people. Let's roll. How does, like you said, they don't have a buddy system. No one counts off. Like
All the buddies were in line getting coffee together.
Probably so.
how do you get on the plane and you look around like, well, shit, there's a lot more room than what we had on here before. Where the hell is everybody? Like,
And
Maybe
this isn't college. I mean,
were they on a charter plane?
and the story didn't say that. So I saw this coming in from goal.com, which is a soccer site, and it was aggregated from Marcawa. It's like a Spanish news site. So I think some things may have been lost in translation. I didn't see anything on if it was a charter or a domestic flight. I can imagine if it's a pro team, it's flying charter, right? I mean, this ain't the WNBA.
that's
I
exactly
don't know,
right.
man.
I mean, they're 18th in La Liga. Does the 18th place team in La Liga get charter planes? Do they have money like that?
I mean, I don't know how long they've been up, but that's one of the biggest leagues in the world. I mean, there's money in La Liga. It's not like you're 18th in the Costa Rican league. I don't know why Costa
Well,
Rica's taking
probably.
it on the chin right
Because they
now.
were able to get a second flight pretty quick, so I'd imagine, yeah, probably. They probably have money.
Maybe
Unless
this
they
was
got another domestic flight.
maybe this was
Maybe.
an elaborate match fixing scandal. Maybe these guys were trying to miss the match so their team would go out there with I
Yeah.
don't know whatever 9-10 players that they had. Maybe this was a match fixing scandal.
If something's going on there, maybe that's my conspiracy theory. I just can't believe 17 people don't know when the next flight is taking off, and their excuse is, "Oh, we're looking for coffee." Like it wasn't anything like a legit reason. It's just we just gotta get coffee. I'm like,
But
dude,
this-
like
Yeah.
your job
Yeah.
is like to get on this plane on time and fly to wherever you're going.
I will say I'm shocked though that this doesn't happen more because I just thought about another layer to this with soccer clubs especially. It's so international. I don't know the nationalities of all these guys, but so they're in Spain. So the airport announcements are in Spanish, I would imagine. Maybe a couple in English, but they're in Spanish. Maybe some of these guys were from Africa. Maybe they were from Nigeria. They didn't
That
speak
does
Spanish.
not matter. Somebody told you what time the flight was leaving.
Maybe they didn't
17 of
hear.
them all from Africa.
Somebody told you. Yes, somebody told you. That's probably the first thing you learn.
That could be racist.
That might be racist. How do I convert time is probably one of the first things you learn.
What, and like,
If you're flying, if a part of your daily life is flying from place to place,
yeah,
you're going to know what time it is.
that's a good point. That's a good
Yeah.
point. I just don't know how this. You guys ever missed a flight?
I missed all of
A
them.
train or a plane or a young man that was trying to get you to give him some road relief?
I did miss the
missed the flight.
school bus in middle school one time. Lady took off on us. Because we would
She
wait.
just drove off
Well,
when you
because the
saw
bus
you.
stop was like right by at my friend's house, so we would hang out at his house, and when the bus would pull out, we would walk outside. And I guess she didn't really like us much, but like all the kids get on the bus and we see the door shut and we're like maybe 10 feet behind the bus and she just takes off.
Oh, my bus drivers did it all the time. Make a kid
All
run
the
like a
time.
block.
We ran, she just kept going. We're like, all right, what do we do?
The first time I hung out with my wife when I first met her, we were at a group like function, and we were at her college, and we were eating in this like cafe, like student center kind of place. You could see out the window there was this girl trying to catch the one of the university buses, and she was late and she was running, and the bus literally like did the whole start stop thing. It was fucking with this poor girl, and she was a heftier lass, and like everyone in that like student center was like looking out the window and like laughing at this poor girl because the bus driver was at this university. All the bus drivers were students.
Nah,
I don't know how
yeah.
it is in most colleges, but there it was.
I don't think it was like that at Tech.
Yeah, and so you could tell they were just fucking with this girl, and she never did get on the bus. So of course they like let her get close, and they just took off.
Oh, my elementary school bus driver was ruthless. Like literally, she would like I used to catch the bus literally at the corner. My house was on the corner of a block, so the bus stopped there. So it was easy for me to catch the bus every day. But there are some kids that to come from streets over or down the other side of the block or wherever to get to the bus, and the bus driver would be ruthless because everybody would get on, and then somebody would see Jimmy running down the street. Hey, I forgot what the bus driver's name was. Hey, Ms. Johnson, could you hold on? We see Jimmy, and she'd be like act like she just gone just deaf all of a sudden, just close the bus doors and take off, and everybody's yelling, Jimmy's right behind us, Ms. Johnson, stop, and she would stop at the same place at the end of the next block and wait. I'm just like, you're messing with this kid, though, these kids, like.
She was the original fuck them kids.
Yeah, she was. She was the original fuck them kids because she would not stop for more than until she was at the end of that block. Like, I'm going to make you earn this bus ride to school.
Jeez Louise.
Nice.
Well, on the last story before we get out of here, Scotty, you had found this one. I know you're partial to all things band.
Well, Ryan's the one that said we should do this one, actually.
Well, you're the one that found it, and you had the experience at band camp that you don't like to talk about, and that's okay.
I got some band stories that are not really safe for public consumption.
Rusty trombones and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So what happened at the band this time?
Yeah, so this was in Alabama, and a band director got tased and arrested because he would not stop his band from playing. So apparently what happened, I guess it was like the game was over.
Punch the microphone.
They're trying to clear the field, clear the stadium or whatever, and I guess both of the bands were playing, and people were like all gathered around, probably dancing or whatever, having a good time, and they were trying to clear the field, clear the stadium, and the one band stopped because the police asked them to stop. The one band stopped, but then the other band did not stop. They just kept playing. He wouldn't stop his band, and so I guess they tried to talk to him, and then I guess it got to a point where they had to arrest him, and then they said he resisted. I don't know. Then they tased him, and
things really escalated from
they escalated pretty quickly.
What song?
So, yeah, they told him to go to jail, and he responds with a thumbs up and said, "That's cool." So that probably pissed him off. I would imagine it was some kind of probably hip hop music. I would imagine. You're in Alabama. That probably made the cops mad. They want to hear Freebird.
Was it Ryan? Fill me in. What's the term? Was it crunk music, as the kids say? It was a dirty South.
Yeah, maybe it was some dirty South music. Little, not crunk necessarily. That's not the right term, I don't think. But
I heard some guy say it in passing once.
Okay, maybe you're right there.
No. I'm not talking about like this story. I just mean like I just heard that term once.
That was. Kept that little nugget for years and years. Okay.
Yeah.
I will say, being a fellow band dork here, there is kind of like an environment, like when you're playing or when you're performing, if the director or the drum major doesn't cut you off, you're going. Like, it don't matter what's like, especially like marching. Like, I think it was some like military thing, and somebody ran in front and they just ran over this kid. That's kind of how it is. Like, if you're marching, if you're performing, if you're not told to stop by your band director or your drum major, you're going to keep going. If the cops tell you to stop, I could tell you the high school I went to, if a cop was like, y'all need to stop playing, if they're not telling me to stop, we're not stopping. We're going to keep going.
Well, also, no one listened to the police at your high school. That's why they're there like 14 times a day.
Well,
didn't y'all say a kid got arrested that was in your band, like arrested on the practice field?
No, I didn't want to bring this up. 'Cause-
Oh man, my bus.
Sorry, it's
I'm
all
sorry,
good. No,
dude.
it's all- you
Look,
brought it up now.
I-
So yeah, there was a. I didn't see it happen. I did see the cop car leaving, and then like it was this one time at band camp
Did you grab your ankles?
because it was all behind me, so I didn't really see anything.
He was behind Scotty.
But yeah, they took. It was actually one of my friends. They, I can't remember.
Judge
what-
with the company that you
Names have been.
It was-
You can make up names. You don't have to call his name out.
His name is
No, we're
Naughty.
not.
His name is Naughty.
I wouldn't put his name out there.
Yeah.
I don't know what had happened. But it was something that happened previously. They came and put him in cuffs and took him away.
See, this is the problem with these band people, though. This is like why these motherfuckers went down with the ship in Titanic. They're sitting there playing goddamn music while the motherfucker's sinking. This is exactly the problem. Oh, I'm not going to stop unless the band director tells me to.
Hey, that's true.
So
The ship is sinking.
So were they
So
playing?
what are they gonna do about it?
Not die.
Let's not get into a Titanic dispute right now. We're,
Wow, you
we're
know,
almost done.
Titanic was so controversial.
Yeah, we don't have time for all that. Right?
Yeah.
That's another podcast.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
the sub.
I was just saying. Wow. I guess they've been dead for a little while now, so I guess that's something you can say. But what was like? So did it say in the story like at what point they like stopped? You know, the band was like, "Oh, our band director's getting tased. Maybe we need to stop playing some
Oh,
song
they
off a
did.
drumline."
I'm sure once he got arrested, they probably stopped. But I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see.
It's just funny that the cops are intervening and talking, and they were just playing.
What if they just playing what if it was something really lame? Like they're playing their fight song. And like every high school has like one of these like 5 fight songs. They play like Notre Dame's Victory March.
That was ours.
Really?
Yeah.
We had On Wisconsin. Or there's, was it Notre Dame? It's Victory March. It's On Wisconsin. It's Tiger Rag, like the Clemson version of Tiger Rag.
The Michigan one.
Michigan, yeah, hail to the victors. And there's one more.
USC is pretty famous.
Oh, the tribute to Troy or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Texas is pretty famous too, especially in that state. But yeah, what if they're just playing like some lame Notre Dame Victory March? And I hope they won, by the way. Can you imagine playing the fight song after you lost like 35-3 and your band director's getting tased? That's a hell of a Friday night. Ain't much else to do in Alabama.
Exactly.
It sounded like maybe it was some kind of like battle of the bands after the game. I'm guessing. They said both teams are playing, so they're probably going back and forth. And then they got the one team to stop, and this team was just like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna keep going."
What did that shitty movie say? Game time is halftime or whatever. it was?
Halftime is game time.
Oh, there it is.
Drumline?
Don't shit on
Yeah.
Drumline.
Yeah.
I watched that movie once.
Nick
and
Cannon?
once
Yeah,
and
that's the only good thing Nick Cannon ever did.
I watched that movie once.
And
And
produces
Except for-
12 kids.
That's where I was going.
I watched that movie once in a car on an 8-hour trip to Indiana, and I wanted to jump out somewhere along West Virginia and take my chances with the inbred Hicks there.
Wow.
It was quite unsavory. And on
I
that,
like the movie.
and on that unfortunate,
2
note,
thumbs up for me.
Yeah.
they don't have thumbs in West Virginia actually. Got that going for us. All right. On that unfortunate, note,
Nope,
let's
not doing
end
it.
this Travis Sham mockery. Where can you find us on the socials there, Scotty?
Find us on the socials at Let's Not Do This Podcast on Facebook, Threads, Instagram, TikTok. Probably forgetting one. And _ Let's Not Do This on Twitter/X. And please subscribe to our YouTube. Like, subscribe. We're on Spotify. Most of the places you get your podcasts. Like us there. Rate us 5 stars.
You know it. And if you subscribe this week, you get a date with Ryan.
Yeah.
May have to clear that with somebody.
She'll be all right. She'll understand.
Yeah, we'll give her some of that stolen F-35 money.
Hey, you have any tips? Let us know.
All right. Peace.